Lorenzo behind Stockholm 17 is also in front of Stockholm 17. Lorenzo is a one-man band with this brand called Stockholm 17. And even though I get help from friends and professionals, it's just one person driving the entire enterprise. But yeah, the important thing is also have people helping, which I'm very grateful for that. I wanted to find a name that could tell at once where I'm from, which is odd because I'm Italian, but I operate from Stockholm. And all the designs I made were made in Stockholm. So since my audience is mostly American and not Swede, with the name Stockholm, I already tell from where I operate. And 17, why is that? Because it sounds easy to to remember. Also, it's a number that belongs to me somehow because it's my birthday. It's also, in Italy, 17 is the unlucky number, while 13 is the lucky one. So it's the opposite. But this is a way to counterspell this negativity. So I said, who cares? I use 17 and I don't care what Italy thinks. It's not an unlucky number, it's my lucky number. The graphic design, it didn't really start one day. It was always, I think, inside me since I was a kid. And when graphic design, I include also illustrations, visual art, all the visual things, drawing, movies, cartoons. And in fact, I'm a really bad reader because I get bored, fall asleep. Instead, when there is something to see with colors, forms, and everything, I get excited. And that one has always happened since I was a kid. I remember when I was a kid, I was inspecting all the court cards, the illustrations, and I was wondering why was drawn like that. We used to play with regional cards, and they are a little bit different, even though all the cards more or less come from the same origin, even if they changed over time. And that was one part of the attraction. You need to be a little bit illustrator, you need to be graphic designer and product designer, because a deck of cards is all of them. It looks that everything is strict and has to be respected, but I identify constants and variables, and depending on the project and how playable I want to make it, I can start breaking some rules. Not really breaking, maybe bending. And of course, I have to keep the structure of 52 plus 2 jokers, plus, in case, more cards. And of course, it's from ace to 10, and then the 3 courts for each suit. I can tell you this, for a project from 2014, I decided to bend a rule and have the jack being a female. Let's call it Jill. And this was a little bit strange, but it worked anyway because it stays in its structure. Or maybe make a deck of, instead of 54 cards, make it of 57. So why not? Or 56. So I can add cards, I can do some changes. And those variables are mostly the visual variables. This is a thing that is related to printing machines and sheets size. As you know, 52 plus 2 jokers is the standard, but on a sheet you get 56 cards. And so this gives me more space for the storytelling, because with 2 extra cards I can use them to put additional information or a piece of the story, and have the entire layout when on paper, on sheet. It's called uncut sheet. I can design the entire layout in my own way. Very random. Meaning that these mysterious things called inspiration is something that happens to me. Sometimes I am maybe too tired mentally to get inspired, and I really have no ideas what I'm gonna do next. And then I don't know why it comes in a way or another. I'm getting inspired, and I start, instead of sketching, I start taking notes about the concept. And from there it develops in a way, because when I find that interesting thing, I can develop like forever. I have to stop at one point because it gets too complex. For many projects I was planning, like in my head I was already at the movie of the story, but you know, let's stop at playing cards first and see if later I can develop it even more. I think it can be anything. Yeah, of course, visual things, they help a lot. I get inspired when I see something that I like. But stories actually are even more interesting, because they're just concepts somehow, and they don't have visual medium. So I can build something of my own, with my style, and then tweak it, bend it, I don't know. I'd say 50-50, but everything starts with a story, and then the aesthetics adapt according to the story. I have the biggest project that also took a few years to reach this level is The Eye of the Ocean. And that one, I really had to put limits on myself, because I was also designing the measurement system of a civilization that didn't exist. So, you know, it's like more or less like Tolkien making the entire world. I say, I can't do that myself, because if I start with this level of complexity, I will never finish the project. And so I made up this world, which is archeo-fantasy world. It's a novel that takes place in the Age of Sails, and it's about discovering an ancient island that it's completely made up. And that was quite a big project, still ongoing, because sometimes I add something more. I still see in my head the day is gonna be released as a movie, but let's see later in the future if this happens. The heart depends what you mean with heart. It's I can tell you the one closest to the broken heart is my first project. It's called Requiem. In fact, the name, it speaks for itself. And that was indeed the story of a broken heart. Otherwise, the other one close to my heart in a positive way is The Eye of the Ocean, because it's something that I'm really passionate about, a little bit of archaeology and fantasy. It's the one that also somehow started in 2005. So it's like 20 years old project that has been on hold for a long time, but the core is still there. So that one was like a story I loved. The Odd Fellows from the Sanctuary is the new one, and that was the challenge I was talking about before, which is the product design challenge. Indeed, I decided to use a hip flask as a container, instead of a regular tack box made of paper. The size is almost the same, it's a little bigger, but it was difficult to design because this component needed product design knowledge. On paper it was easy, but you know, when you talk to the factory, say, okay, how do we do that? It has to work. The story behind them, it's about a gang of petty criminals, UK based. I got a little of inspiration from the Snatch movie, Blues Brothers, Tarantino without the blood, and other movies that are like that. So they are planning a heist in a museum, but they get caught from the police and they couldn't do that. So this gang is a little bit like crooked somehow. They're not professionals, they're mostly sloppy and not even smart enough. But that's the funny part, because every character is depicted in the deck as a court card, and the leaders are two individuals. One is Sister Mary Gorda, and which is a nun, and Father Firkin, who is kind of a monk or a priest. And the names comes from the casks and barrels from the whiskey industry. So the Firkin is a 41 liters cask, and Gorda is 700 liters barrel. So that's why Gorda is huge. It's a huge woman, and Father Firkin is a very small man. I started working with a new concept. It is called Echoes in the Palace, and there is this way I designed the deck with a different approach. Instead of designing each single card one by one, I started directly from the uncut sheet. So it's basically, at the end, it is like a huge drawing being cut in 56 cards. So I'm working on a big canvas now instead of the single cards. However, they have to work as cards as well. So they have to I have to find compromises. Yeah, the Kickstarter, the launch platform, let's say. And that was a way to find a community that I wasn't aware of. It's a community of playing card collectors or enthusiasts. And that one helped a lot to make the project real, to print. Yes, of course. I mean, the feedback, it helps because sometimes I'm stuck in my world, and it's good to have feedback from an external source. And my community, which is translated into patrons, say, people following closely. And sometimes I need feedback from them to understand the direction. What do I say? I mean, I want to say thank you, because they always, there is people supporting me since 2013. And there are collectors that they don't miss any release. Of course, I'm in touch with them, because even if I have quite a lot of followers, and I don't remember all the names, which is normal, but some of them, I recall the name popping up every time I launch a campaign or a release, or I see them on my Patreon. So I want to say thank you a lot. Sorry if I don't remember all the names and the nicknames and the second nickname on all the social media, because everybody has like 5 different nicknames. But yeah, I want to say thank you. I mean, they've been amazing. It's like without them, I couldn't get here.